Right, let's make a cinnamon banana loaf. I've just finished making the banana loaf and had a slice which was so delicious, but I wanted to actually sit down and talk with you, which I feel like I've been needing to do for a very long time, and I don't want to make this really dramatic. I just think I've been thinking a lot about why I started my channel, and before I go into all of that, I just want to say that I'm going to try and do this all in one take, which is really difficult to do because a lot of the time I'll either get a bit emotional or upset, or I don't know, when I try and have like a raw talk, I feel like I always lose my trail of thought. So I'm going to try and stay on topic and do this just in one smooth take. But like I said already, I've wanted to catch up with you all for a long time, and I was thinking about why I kind of started Toby's Home a few years ago now. So for anyone who's new here or who maybe hasn't followed my whole journey online, I decided to start my Instagram account, Toby's Home, in 2020, which was when we were in lockdown because of COVID, which for I think a lot of people was a really strange time. And before that, I was working in finance, or at that time actually when I set up my account, I was working in finance in an office in Bristol, which I had been at for around 3 to 4 years. So kind of a similar amount of time from when I actually started my account now, which is bizarre. But I didn't want to be working in finance. I studied art at university and I just kind of ended up there. I knew it wasn't something I wanted to do forever, but I was grateful to have a job and be in like a safe space with a steady income. Obviously COVID changed all of that and made me think about what I really want, and interiors had always been such a big passion of mine. So I set up my Instagram account and we started renovating our cottage, which we basically didn't have the time to do before. So we were able to get a bit hands-on and just get started with the cottage renovation, which has been very slow and ongoing for the last 3 years since then. And there are definitely times when I think like, oh, we finished it and it's done, but it never is. I'm sure a lot of you can agree with that you try and get a project done, and if you're quite a creative person, it very rarely is done because it's ever evolving. But that's why I set up Toby's Home. It was a really needed creative outlet for me, and I've kind of evolved my online presence and what I do for work whenever I've felt it necessary. So I don't know, maybe actually in saying this I should just go through the rest of kind of what happened. So from there, I started to share more, post more kind of every day, just giving updates of what was going on. I would love to know if you've actually been following me since like 2020 or 2021, very early days. Let me know in the comments below, and congratulations for sticking with me, because I know you watching and Mikey as well have such a hard time dealing with me day to day, because I am a lot. But from there, I actually was really desperate to work for a homeware brand, and I wanted to work at Neptune in their marketing team, which I was very lucky to get a position there, so I thought I was. But yeah, I left my finance job to go there, and it just wasn't what I expected. Some of the people were lovely, some really weren't. I didn't have a good relationship with my manager, who said just horrible things to me and other people, and was the type of person that I think felt very happy making other people feel bad. And yeah, so I decided to leave, and I do not look back at that time as particularly fond. But since then, life has just been crazy up and down, but career-wise, that was the best thing I've ever done. And someone actually messaged me today on Instagram saying they'd like me to talk more about my kind of transition into doing my own thing, and that was basically it. I was not happy in my job, and I thought I just need to cut the cord and go for it. And yeah, there are a lot of conversations with Mikey and family and friends, but in the end I did it. I pulled the plug. I quit Neptune just before our wedding, a week before our wedding, and yeah, that was it. And we got married, and I started doing TobysHome full time, which was doing lots of interior design projects for some amazing people, some of which are still ongoing. And from there, kind of Instagram, TikTok grew slightly, and more so recently. And then I started YouTube mid to late last year, so that's not even been going that long, and I'm just kind of getting the swing of things now, I think and hope. But yeah, that's kind of the journey. But anyway, to cut a long story short, I've been thinking a lot about that and how I've come to be in this position now and sharing my life online. And the reason I did that was to have a creative outlet, which I think is really easy to lose the more that you grow a presence online. And I want to be doing things that make other people happy, and that's a big part of my content. I want to do calming, cozy content that can make people feel warm and kind of like a hug, and I hope that's something you get from watching my channel, and maybe if you follow me elsewhere as well. But I think that is something that needs to come second to doing things I enjoy creatively. And I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about it, and I don't know what that will look like, but things like my newsletter and my journal I really enjoy doing, and things like YouTube as well. So I am going to focus a lot more energy over here and doing more of this stuff over the coming months, which I'm really excited about. And I think, I don't know, I just want to be raw and emotional and honest with you all here, because I know that sometimes I can get stuck with wanting to be perfect at everything, and that's something I've probably dealt with my whole life. I'm sure my parents could agree with that, but yeah, I've always struggled with kind of wanting to do things right and well, and when I set my mind to something, I can get carried away really quickly. And I think I need to just chill and focus on doing what I enjoy creatively, which at the moment I'm really enjoying creating videos, I'm enjoying photography, I'm enjoying writing, and I have got some exciting things going on in those areas. But I'm really enjoying those things, and I hope you are as well. And I just thought it would be nice to kind of share that story of how I've come to this point and where I kind of see my creativity going. I would also really love to be doing a bit more design again, because that's definitely taken a backseat to some other things which actually seem quite uneasy at the moment, though that's a story for another day. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think the heart of my channel online, and hopefully the reason you follow me as well, is because I genuinely love and have a really big passion for homemaking. So cooking, tidying, styling, hosting, all of those things. And that's kind of what I like to show on my YouTube channel as inspiration for that, whether it's in my shopping, in my going out and doing different things, sorting the house and decluttering. It's kind of all homemaking, but I do get worried about kind of showing a very polished version. And particularly with things like online hate, which I spoke about in one of my recent videos, the homophobia that I've been getting recently, which, I mean, I had one yesterday, someone going on all of my YouTube videos, so if you're watching, please just unsubscribe if that was you, but just sending me loads of hate for being gay, saying how I'm going to hell. And I just think, I don't know if this is really wrong, but surely in saying that, that doesn't make you a good, holy person in wishing someone else to go to hell. I might be completely mistaken and misunderstand the Bible, but I have religious friends and people in my life who interpret the words of the Bible as loving everyone and accepting everyone as people that God made. So I don't really know. I don't understand it, but yeah, I just think even in light of all of that stuff, all the more reason to make the content and share the things that I want to share. And I've been on a massive journey outside of work of kind of finding myself, my style, my interests, all of those things, because I think when you share so much of yourself online and when you have a personality, I think like I have, and I'm sure lots of you might have as well, you question, I think, if you're doing things for yourself or for someone else. I don't know, please tell me if you've ever felt like that, because I think about that really often. Like, do I actually want this, or am I just doing this because someone else wants this? And yeah, I need to start challenging that a little bit more. Sorry, let me just put my phone on silent. Yeah, and I think that has also made me think a lot more about our future again and what we are going to do and where we're going to be. And it's so easy to say, I always say it to myself, but to try not to think about it too much. But you obviously, it's your life and you can't live for tomorrow, but you also need to kind of think about what you'll be doing tomorrow. And I have had a lot of therapy and counselling, which I again want to be really raw and honest with you all who choose to watch me here, but I have recently stopped therapy, and that's not something I necessarily wanted to do, but my diary, I know this is really wrong, my diary just wasn't allowing for me to go as regularly as I'd like. Like, I ended up not being able to go for 3 weeks, which if you are a therapist or you've had therapy, you'll know that that can really interrupt the kind of process of understanding yourself and how your brain works and kind of working on what you need to work on. So I put a pause to it because essentially I was having to pay and not having sessions because I'd have to cancel a few days in advance of them because of work and different meetings and deadlines. So I'm not having therapy at the moment, and I'm hoping to find someone who can maybe speak remotely and talk. But that was really helpful in not necessarily in finding who I am and what I like and what I want, but definitely helpful in understanding the way that my past has impacted my approach to my own life, and also how experiences over the last 18 months have actually really impacted what I want for my future self, because I haven't spoken and I don't speak about a lot of things that are very personal with people close to me in my life, but there have been a lot of things going on this past year that have impacted relationships, and those are different things with different relationships, some health related, some just kind of how me and other people in my life interact. I don't know, it's hard to explain with being kind of cryptic and respecting people's privacy, but yeah, I think I've learned a lot about what I want. And even recently, amazing news, and I don't think she'll mind me saying because she's just announced to people last night, but my sister is pregnant, which is really exciting. So it's the first baby in our immediate family, which everyone is very excited about, obviously, and it's just making me think, I guess, about what am I doing, and have I made the right decisions to prioritize other things over children. And you'll know if you've watched videos before, but we always go up and down of when we want to have children and if that's right for us now and how we'll have children. Because even the news of my sister, which is obviously completely amazing and incredible, and we're so excited for her and her husband and us as well for having a new baby around, it makes us question kind of when we'll have children and when we'll feel in a place to have children, because arguably we don't have the body clock that kind of limits us. Obviously, naturally, we'd like to have children at a similar time to friends and family, but that's not really happening right now. Like, our closest friends don't have children yet. So we obviously have time to think about what we want and when we want that. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think and just unpack how I'm feeling, basically, and using this as a therapy session, because I don't know on the children front if having children and doing this job is something I would want. Like, I don't know if I would want to expose, well, I wouldn't want to expose a child to having hate online. And maybe if that's something you've seen or you're aware of, then you could give me some insight. But I remember a few years ago, someone who was kind of on social media, their child just had so much abuse online, and particularly if we decide to adopt, that's something that I would never obviously expose a child to, but it's very difficult because I share a lot of my life here. So I don't know, all of those conversations are continuing to go on between Mikey and me, and I didn't mean for this to be like a 20-minute chat about my life and having children and all of those things, but I did mean for it to be a sit down chat about how I'm feeling and being really honest with you, because I know that that can also help other people as well. And particularly in these cottage diary episodes, I think you see me pottering around and tidying and cooking, like you did just now with the banana loaf, and like you will with me making a chili in a moment for dinner. But life isn't like that, and I have like a million things going around in my brain. I am late for almost everything, like almost every meeting, appointment, everything I'm late for. I don't have a clue what I'm doing tomorrow, let alone in the next year or 5 years. I don't know where my career's heading. I don't know if I'll be here doing this forever. I don't know where we're going to move. I don't know where we'll live. I don't know any of those things. And I think it's easy to look at people online and just presume they actually know what they want to do and that they're really driven and goal-oriented and focused, because I'm not like that. And I just want to be honest with you and give a little bit of insight into how I've been feeling and what's been going on inside my brain, basically. That felt like a really needed kind of offload, and I hope you didn't find that too painful to listen to and also triggering in any way. But I find it really helpful to sometimes just like relax and say what I'm feeling, and it means that in future videos I can have a more honest conversation, and I want to do research about kind of all of these things and talk to people who have experiences, so I can then share that with you guys as well and take you on more of a journey, which is why I actually started this channel. I was recording something recently and it reminded me that I actually started my YouTube channel to show more of the kind of behind the scenes process and to have it as a visual diary for Mikey and I. Like, I loved the idea of being able to look back a year and like see how things have changed, and hopefully in a few years look back 5 years. But yeah, that's I think everything off my chest, and I hope you enjoyed this kind of sit down, more casual video, and hopefully it wasn't too intense. But I'm gonna make a chili for dinner now, and we'll hopefully catch up with you soon. Right, let's make, should we start with the story like that? Right, let's make cinnamon banana. Let's make a cinnamon banana loaf.